early today?
Sort of. We're mostly sure now that we're not in a time.
Leaving the city. As far as I remember, you've mentioned your...
We did? But we don't remember anything.
Let me think. I don't think you ever actually told me what the outcome was. But you two sometimes stay out the entire night anyway, so at the time, I didn't think too much.
It is true that sometimes...
Really? That's kinda strange. In theory, I should have already...
Yep. Something here's definitely fishy. Let's get... Our memories are back! About that...
Traveler, aside from your memories that were just restored, I have another message. Listen to it and you'll understand.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zeru's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them.
Traveler, you should be missing... It's time to carry out our plan from yesterday. Okay.
Why can't we?
Don't ask me. It's not like I can...
I have a real...
That's your problem.
But it's not like you can just predict business matters in advance.
It looks like the academia already announced. Let's go and Hello, sir. Why can't we...
Here we go again. Don't ask me. I don't know either. We just received an order that no one is allowed to enter or exit Sumeru today. Angering...
It looks like he really doesn't know. If we can't get anything out of him, this is a good spot. And the guard has... Huh? Why? Are you going to leave Paimon behind? But... Paimon knows that... Okay, promise Paimon that you'll come back and please... Memories! Traveler! Paimon when that Paimon waited for you for hours and hours at the city wall and you never came back! You promised Paimon that you...
Paimon, calm down. He's here now. I don't think you...
Paimon doesn't care! Paimon wanted to go look for you, but you also said that Paimon should stay! Paimon was so worried and so scared the entire day!
Okay. Paimon, can you tell us your perspective of what really... I see. Using...
After that, you left the city. Paimon kept her eyes on you the whole time, but then you... disappeared in an instant. No way!
What's your perspective, Traveler? You sure you don't have any memory of that? I guess that explains everything.
So, if we leave the city, our memories will be completely erased? It really but this way, we'll also never discover what's outside! Something like a message? But
don't look at me like that. I'm not used to being stared at. Well... Okay. You want something that can pass on messages, right? Give me some time and take care of...
Yep!
I'm done. Here you go.
What? Isn't this just an
You made some little changes. Akasha terminals are already capable of sending messages. I just tweaked it so that...
to make something like
Yep. I'll help you save the message.
We'll never know until we try. At least we're taking the initiative now. Let's go then. Let's expose those okay. See you tomorrow, Traveler. That covers everything that's happened so far.
Yes. Although the signal was choppy and had some interference...
Okay, now that you understand what's going on,
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zeru's festival in I've entered another space. Before me are flowing sandstone and howling fish. All these spaces are empty except for the occasional ones that contain mute puppets rather than people. I can't sense...
that's one heck of an info dump. It sounds like you left this, but everything looked completely normal when Paimon was...
There's another part here. I only received it last night.
These spaces have been disappearing one after the other, absorbed by something like a sun in the sky. And now, behind me, a lot of spaces just appeared again from thin air. I get it now! Those spaces are actually...
Why did the message end?
Probably because yesterday just happened...
Oh, right.
The message.
After the beep, Traveler said, even the final...
Traveler, what do you think that final space could have been?
All the bizarre spaces... That doesn't sound right. Was that space... That doesn't... My impression is...
Oh, so that's what it is! After the sound of the beep, the finals, later on, Traveler also mentioned Paimon's head is...
Well, consider this. So no matter how strange or spooky things may look on the surface, maybe I'll...
Wow, the Archon War, huh? That... Hey! Do you want some alone time to think?
The dance of Sub-Zerus is about to begin. I'm going to go watch it.
Okay.
Okay then. See you later.
Have you figured it out yet, Traveler? Time is awesome! What is it? Paimon wants to know! Oh, wait.
for you two. Are you ready to take your Sub-Zero's exam and graduate from the festival? Okay, first up.
Okay, Nahida's... That doesn't sound right. Okay, The moon... That doesn't sound... People in... All the bizarre... We are all in a dream. We've already experienced the subs... Those spaces remind me of... That doesn't sound right.
People in Sumeru think they don't dream, but the truth is the Akasha steals their dreams without them knowing it. And those spaces with no human presence are still... Huh. So people in Sumeru do dream...
Correct answer. Now, how did you conclude that... It is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power.
Oh, okay. Those dream-controlling creatures in the forest also get their power from the Dendro Archon, right? But is stealing everyone's dreams really how the Akasha compiles their wisdom? Isn't there...
Dreams are fantastical, complex, and full of imagination. People's brains are the most active. In other words, dreams are rich bundles of human...
So in other words, the complete... Paimon remembers her saying that the sages think... The real story is that the sages from the academia are using the Akasha to steal...
Oh? By the sounds of it, you understand the current situation pretty well. So then, what about the Samsara?
We've already experienced the sub... Those spaces kept disappearing before... Those dreamscapes kept vanishing. The Grand Sage said, "Go celebrate the birth of that god to your heart's content." That doesn't sound right. The beep is... That doesn't sound right. My mind... That doesn't...
Correct. The Akasha is keeping each person's brain in a constant dream state, but also separating their consciousness from their own dream. Their disembodied consciousness is placed... No one is any the wiser as the people wake up to yet another dream about the Sub-Zero's festival.
So, this is like a dream
Very good, Paimon.
Okay. So that beep we keep hearing is actually from our real-life Akasha terminals. Taking off our terminals in...
Alright, last question.
Now that I think about it, wasn't a... That doesn't sound right. Now that I think... That doesn't sound... They say that...
So you noticed. I thought that one would be the hardest question. That's why I put it last.
That wasn't hard at all. Even Paimon guessed that. Everything about you is different. We just didn't want to expose you is all. Now that you mention it, Nahida, you've been hinting. It's funny. Thinking back to when we were asking all over the place for info about Lesser Lord Kusanali. Paimon didn't expect to meet you like this.
Yes, those can wait until we're back in real life. On the other hand, I'd be happy to answer any more questions you have. Firstly, this dream we're in is completely based on reality. Secondly, you're probably wondering why. That's because people don't remember their dreams most of the time anyway. So whenever they wake up in the...
That reminds Paimon. Traveler had a...
Yes. Only after receiving the blessing of Dendro can a person gain the Dendro element's dream-enhancing power. That explains the feelings of deja vu. Meanwhile, everyone else has no idea that they are in the Sub-Zero's Festival Samsara, while their dreams are... I know, right? Why did they have to base this dream?
Even you don't know the reason?
Wow. The Academia sages are determined to harvest lots of dreams in a short time, no matter the cost. Traveler, do you have any information?
Those space... That doesn't sound... The Grand Sage said.
Celebrate the birth of that god? Could it mean...
Can humans...
We might say your mental fatigue has already answered this question. Eventually, especially those whose health is compromised to begin with, like Dunyarzad. This relentless exploitation takes an even harder...
People's lives are at stake here, and nobody knows a thing! We've got to put a stop to this!
You asked me this question before. My answer was, it would literally... Now that you know this is all a dream, this answer... Have you heard the saying, don't wake a sleepwalker? Likewise, if someone suddenly had told you all this instead of you learning it on your own, your notion of reality and dream would be thrown into irreversible confusion. I couldn't expose you to that kind of risk. That's why I could only give you very subtle hints and some suggestions. Long story short, I'm really sorry I had to keep you guessing. Deceiving the people of Sumeru with no regard for their safety. No matter after we end the Sub-Zero's Festival Samsara, we have to look into them.
How can the sages of the Academia do this behind their Archon's back? This is ridiculous!
In the end, I'm just the moon. The real sun is long gone.
A sun and a moon? Nahida's talking in riddles again. Oh, we're out of time today!
I'll tell you how to break free of the Samsara tomorrow. See you then.
Good morning, Nahida. Wait. Now that Paimon remembers everything... Hey! What's wrong, Nahida? You don't...
I'm afraid that what you're thinking right now is correct.
Did Dunyarzad already disappear? No way!
The real Dunyarzad's consciousness has indeed disappeared. it can no longer endure the constant dream harvesting.
Paimon can't believe it. Wait, so
She's actually something like a puppet, but not completely. The real Dunyarzad's consciousness could no longer keep playing her role so another Dunyarzad appeared to replace.
but personality-wise,
Puppets are stiff, and can't copy a living person's vitality. After all, they're just there as filler. Speaking of which, the old Dunyarzad might not have been.
Dunyarzad truly believed that she met you within her consciousness, and it was you who inspired her. So you do remember?
Yes. Back then, her family was overly protective of her. No one cared about her personality or thoughts. It was as if she only lived to stall her Elazar. I just gave her a little wisdom so she could look at life in a new way. So that she could be her own person. But even so, she's still far from it. I'm still a long way off from being a real Archon. I couldn't even save her. If I were a competent Archon,
Please don't beat yourself up over it, Nahida.
I'm not beating myself up.
Don't be like that, Nahida. Even real Archons are still allowed to be sad.
To prevent more tragedies like this, we must end the samsara as soon as possible.
Great, but
Although the Sub-Zero's festival dream is under the Akasha's control, only humans can dream. Even the Akasha is unable to create. That means this dream belongs.
Huh? So, how should we find that person?
Well, if this is someone's dream, then which means, with the power of imagination, they can change anything in this dream.
Imagination?
Imagination means breaking through what you like when a server at a tavern brings a plate to you. You'd naturally assume that food is on. However, if you're the dream will respond in kind. But right now, our host is unaware that this is a dream. No matter find some way to make.
How are we going to find? And even if we did find them, after all,
It's extremely. As for me,
out of town? Are you going to that place for?
yes. I want to try something. Hurry and go.
She was such a good person. Yeah. See, but Paimon's wondering. Do you think? Huh. So, who do you think the host of the dream is? Oh, that would make sense. Ferris, the Knight of... Let's go ask him some...
You're back. You left in a hurry last time.
Everything's fine, just...
An experiment? That can't...
Could you... make a wish?
You want me to make...
Less questions, more wishing!
Okay. My wish. Okay. I'm a little nervous saying this out.
Oh.
I noticed earlier that she looked a bit down. She just doesn't see... I've also wondered...
So, you have a crush on Dunyarzad?
When she placed the hat of the Knight of Flower, what she didn't realize was that... Okay, I'm ready to make my wish. I would like Miss Dunyarzad to appear in front of me right now with a smile on her face. Here goes.
Please come true.
I'm gonna open my... Oh!
What?
Fucky? Sorry, but only one portion of... Nice try, you two. Anyway, never mind. I don't need...
Guess he isn't the host of this dream after all. Should have expected it wouldn't be this easy.
lady.
That sounds like Dia! Oh, right. Huh? But Dia can handle them! Hey, Traveler!
Oh, it's you. Great timing. Please take... Hey, this is my job. The homie Yannis pay me, not you. You... Fine, alright. Knock yourself out. Why are you so... Anyway, watch yourself.
So you got yourself some backup.
That's close enough.
A new punchy.
Diana Special!
Yahoo!
Mind the deluge. Cascade.
Here we go!
Think you can bully me?
Whirling snow!
Traveler, were you just taking your anger out on those guys? You and Nahida both. Oh, and remember how during the first Sub-Zero's festival, before the Samsara started, she said it was because she had forgotten something? Okay, so Paimon's memory is working so far. Anyway, Paimon also remembers that she is staying somewhere around here. She pointed, yeah. This is the place! Hey! The windows are unlocked! Okay. Paimon... This was only a Should we open? Wow. Even though she was also big, she must have wanted if we hadn't found this book. But now that we know, we can't... Hey! Where are you off to, It's Dunyarzad's puppet. Traveler? be exhausted. Come to think of it, we've been stuck in this place for a really, really long time. Heck, even the last time we were chatting happily with Dunyarzad feels like an eternity ago. Paimon still remembers when we were sitting here, and the way her eyes sparkled when she...
There will always be frustrations in life, but I know that the point of living is not to leave behind.
That was what the real Dunyarzad said, wasn't it? Does that mean...
Yes, traveler.
Oh, so she's still just a puppet. What? Where are we going this time?
If you continue to resist, we will have to order an The Grand Sage has already granted you.
Oh.
Traveler? You don't have to get involved.
Traveler?
Traveler? What the heck are you doing? If you get a... Wait, they're not reacting. Have they been scared? Oh, of course! If this is the sage's plan, they wouldn't put themselves through this. So they're just substitutes.
What is this? What happened to the Grand Sage and his entourage? Like I said, they symbolize the goddess of flowers. It's just a shame that all the real Padisar...
Yes. The Greater Lord brought forth new Padisaras in memory of the goddess of flowers. But she ultimately could never truly replicate that...
That beautiful shade of purple. Aren't these flowers real Padisaras? Just like the...
But didn't you just say all the real flowers went extinct after the goddess of flowers passed away?
Yeah. What's going on here? Huh? You guys are acting... Hey!
They disappeared! So Nilu's the host. What a surprise! Purple Padisaras don't exist in the real world anymore. But in Nilu's subconscious, they can appear as decorations on the stage. It's just like the example Nahida told. So when you saw the flowers, you instantly knew it was Nilu? But if we want to end the samsara, we need the host to become aware that they're dreaming. How should we make Nilu read?
Am I dreaming?
Huh?
So I'm right. Is this Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Wrong guess, but you aren't completely wrong either. The point, as far as you know, people in
Yeah, but have you heard the tale?
Ooh, sounds familiar.
Yep, but in the part you heard, he hadn't become the first. His piety and wisdom were acknowledged by the Dendro Archon, and she finally gave her blessing to him. All kinds of spectacular scenes appeared in front of the first sage, as if all the knowledge in the world was being painted onto a canvas right before him. He was captivated. After who knows how long, he mastered all the knowledge he could comprehend. Afterward, he said to the Dendro Archon, "I miss my parents, my wife, and my children. I've been away from home for far too long. They must be worried. The Dendro Archon smiled. The next second, the sage found himself lying in his bed. His wife lying next to him said, in the end, the first sage took care of many disasters and—
So, the first sage was dreaming?
Yes. But his faith and determination were conveyed to the—
Paimon understands where you're coming from now. That's a really interesting connection. But
I see. Well, it just so happens that today's Sub-Zero's festival is almost over. Since we're in a dream, let's make this final dance of Sub-Zero's as beautiful as we can. The wait is over, everyone. I dedicate this to our god, the Dance of Sub-Zeros.
I'd be lying if I said I had no regrets. I would have loved to see Nilou's dance.
Good morning, traveler. Oh, Paimon feels like she's been asleep for the— Paimon's head feels super— Paimon thinks it was the Sub-Zero's fest. Have we finally escaped from the Sub-Zero Samsara? Quick! Take off your Akasha terminal! She's not in her room. What happened? Huh? What you—
Well done, traveler. And thank you, Dunyarzad, for—
I'm sorry, who are...
Dunyarzad!
Oh, a traveler, Paimon. I have something. I just had a dream. And I saw Nilou...
You're actually Nahida, aren't you? Paimon felt like— And Dunyarzad, did you save her?
It's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still weakened. Let's chat somewhere else.
Dunyarzad first.
After we parted on the last day of the Sub-Zeru's festival, I left the city and saw what the traveler had described. Among the countless dreams, I found one that was growing fainter and fainter. This proved my suspicion. Once Dunyarzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. But this also meant it escaped the Akasha. Such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though. It will return to its original dream, where both will gradually fade until they completely disappear. I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible, but it still wouldn't have lasted for much longer if it hadn't been for you two breaking the samsara.
So it looks like we did manage to save Dunyarzad in the end. And not a moment too soon.
Huh? Why are you two smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that you'd start crying. I need to spend more time observing human emotions.
Both are fine. Everyone reacts differently.
All right. You two must have a lot of other questions for me, right? After all, you saved my faithful believer. As your reward, I will answer any and all questions.
At the Avidia forest, there was this incense that made the traveler fall unconscious and dream of a huge tree and a red sky.
You also heard someone's voice, right? It said world and forget me.
Yeah, so you do know! We've been wanting to ask you what that was about, and if the red sky was related to Conria.
It seems like the traveler established a connection to Irminsul. That was a message left by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul. Perhaps her last memory before she died. As you two probably know, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared after the disaster in Conria. The timings of these events do line up, so your suspicions are reasonable.
A message from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata? We thought it was from the Scarlet King.
The Scarlet King? That god who died even longer ago? Some present-day desert dwellers still worship him. You probably just heard some of their conspiracies.
Okay, so what does the message mean?
I still haven't managed to decipher it. Even the Akasha isn't currently capable of doing that. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul seems to be contaminated with something that has a very dangerous aura to it. Many devoted scholars go mad as soon as they connect their consciousness. I've warned the Academia about this many times, but I believe this is the key to saving Irminsul. That's why I've kept trying to decipher it.
So the tree in the vision was Irminsul? Oh, but even if you can't figure out what that vision was all...
The Traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact with that consciousness. I've never seen anyone like that. With you here, we may have a chance at deciphering it. No, we must decipher its secrets. I've already eliminated all other factors that might affect Irminsul. This is the only one left. This puzzle has life and death at stake. It could determine Irminsul's fate, as well as Tevat's. To be accurate, I'm using the Akasha as a medium to occupy Catherine's consciousness.
How did you do that? Poor Catherine. Does this mean you can also occupy other people's consciousnesses?
Theoretically, I can enter anyone's mind as long as they're wearing their Akasha terminal. The Akasha is the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. As Lesser Lord Kusanali and the first Akasha terminal, my consciousness has always been linked to the Akasha. I've always respected my people's free will, so I've never actually occupied their consciousness. When necessary, I just borrow this bionic Snezhnayan puppet.
Hold on. Did we just learn some deep, dark secret? So Catherine is... What about your own body? Why do you need to borrow other people's? Don't you live in the sanctuary of Surasthana?
That story begins a long time ago. After Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared, the sages found my newly born self. At that time, I was young and weak. The sages kept me in the sanctuary of Surasthana, ostensibly for the sake of protecting me. But I've hardly heard from them since. However, I do understand that they had hoped to find Greater Lord Rukkhadevata instead of me, a symbol of her passing.
So, the sages basically put their new Archon under house arrest? How dare they!
In some ways, they aren't wrong. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was omniscient and omnipotent. Even after her death, the Akasha is still empowering, and I'm still really far away.
Yeah, you got a lot of believers. Just look at the Sub-Zero's festival.
Thank you for the kind words. But I honestly don't need physical. Trying to find a way to save Irminsul is my life's mission and top priority. I will work on that, and try to live up to being a deity in the meantime. Every once in a while, I will also take up the duties of the God of Wisdom, and there's never been any big problems with the Academia's governance of... I wonder what caused them to go down this path, and what they... Even though the city's residents haven't noticed anything strange, if the Traveler hadn't broken the Sub-Zero Samsara, I tried to do some investigating in the Akasha, but I think they're deliberately trying to hide something.
Oh, that reminds Paimon.
Regardless, I need to first investigate the sage's motives, make things right, and punish them if needed. You mean how the Akasha stops you from having
Yeah, it's been such a long
It's not that no one knows.
Misdirection?
The sages convinced everyone to believe that being unable to dream is a sign of rationality and wisdom. Not dreaming is a badge of honor in Sumeru, even if the truth is that their dreams are being reaped by the Akasha. With their propaganda in place, the sages can maximize their use of the Akasha to facilitate. Besides, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata must have created the Akasha in the hopes that it could be used to its full potential. That's why I've never come out strongly against this. Anyway, by now, even those who never use Akasha Terminal got it. I hope to be honest, maintaining Dunyarzad's fading dream took a lot. Oh, and you don't need to worry too much about the sage's activities for now.
Go and get some sleep.
What a relief.
Traveler?
Maybe you were sleepwalking. You know you can't...
I see. Huh. I should visit my maintenance personnel sometime. Oh, I'm fine. Embrace the ice!